Next on Eagle Classics is the first ever home win and second victory ever for the Bridgewater men's swimming team. The program was added as a varsity sport in 2017-18, and after beating Emory and Henry on the road earlier in the season, the Eagles faced Virginia Wesleyan at home on Senior Day. Good evening and welcome to tonight's Bridgewater swimming meet against Hollins and Virginia Wesleyan Senior Night. You just saw Senior Day presentations for 8 graduating Eagles, 4 on the men's side, 4 on the women's side. We'll talk a little bit more about those seniors throughout the night. And they're off again. Kelly Hilliker for Bridgewater in lane 2, Chris Hawley for Bridgewater in lane 4, Patrick McNeely from Virginia Wesleyan in lane 5. Chris Hawley is the men's school record holder in this event. Bridgewater will have one more dual meet this season. It'll be next Saturday at Hampton-Sydney. The women will be facing Pfeiffer College. Men will have 2 opponents, a double duel, of course, Hampton-Sydney, all men's school.
So the men's swim meet against Virginia Wesleyan, it was senior night. It was towards the end of our dual meet season heading into our ODAC championship. It was the first year of our season. And we actually, even though it was the first year, we had 3 seniors on that team. And they were really good leaders in the water, out of the water. And so it was really fun that we were able to win that meet and for our seniors. And it was really a great time. The whole team went over to Memorial Hall and were able to ring the bell. And it was a great stepping stone as we headed into our ODAC championships a few weeks later.
Clock is about to get to 9 minutes. Hilliker has 1 or 2 more laps after this. The men would have 1 more than that. McNeely again inching closer. McNeely has almost pulled even to Hawley. See if there's a bell here for Hilliker. There is not, so I believe she's on her final 100. There you see Hawley and McNeely. Hawley's still with the slightest of edges. Hilliker will get the bell here. She'll have 50 to go. Clock is still under 10 minutes. Here is Hilliker. Final length now. And Hilliker, the only woman in this event, will get her final time. Clock at 10:23. Hawley and McNeely now dead even. Hilliker touches in 10:29.94. Good swim for Kelly Hilliker. Here comes Hawley and McNeely. Hawley has edged back in front just a little bit. Clock counting over 11 minutes here. Hawley still in front. There's the bell for the men. This race has been close the entire time. You don't always see them this close in a distance event. We'll see who has a stronger kick. McNeely has just drafted off Hawley this entire time. Hawley fighting to hold him off now. And they make the turn again. Final 20 meters. Hawley is in the lead. If anything, Hawley has extended that gap on this final lap. Good finish from Hawley. He led the entire way, but fights off McNeely for the win. Chris Hawley, 11:46.79. McNeely right behind him, 11:49.81. And I think most of that 3 seconds that Hawley won by was on that final 50 meters.
So we were well matched against Virginia Wesleyan. They were a new team as well. And we really had to play with our lineup a little bit to be successful in that meet. We had, as I said, 3 seniors. One of them, Chris Hawley, we jokingly refer to him as the GOAT of Bridgewater distance swimming. He was a lifeguard here at Bridgewater, but had never competitively swum. But he really invested himself in swimming. And by that point in the season, he was swimming our longest distances for us, the 800 free and the 400 free, both of which he won at that meet against Virginia Wesleyan and scored us some big team points.
111-40. The women lost that 103-102. That's the only blemish on their 7-1 record. They have not swam Washington and Lee or Randolph-Macon this year, but against the other top 4 opponent in the ODAC, who they beat last year in a dual meet before coming in behind them at the conference meet, they fall by just 1 point. It looks like we ultimately only had 3 swimmers. Jake Morgan did not start for Valwez. And so far in the lead is Jared Davis for Bridgewater in lane 3 on the near side there in your camera. There's Davis. You see a little bit of a gap already through 75 meters. We'll get the time here at 100. It's Davis in first, Carlo in second, Stanek in third. Didn't get the split, but it was 38 seconds on that lap for Davis. So on that pace, it'd be about a 1:16. Davis on his way back. And then Carlo, and then Stanek. Final lap for Jarrett Davis. Final lap as well now for Carlo. And now Stanek making the turn. There's Davis, and there's Carlo. So the Bridgewater men will be 3 for 3 in individual event wins, as Davis takes the race with the time of 2:27.58. Carlo finishing up 2:36.42. And not far behind him here is Stanek. Stanek finishes in 2:43.1. 3 competitors on the men's side, all for Bridgewater. And Virginia Wesleyan, also a first-year program, coming in with 8 swimmers on the roster. Looks like they don't have the numbers to really compete in the dual meet scoring. They're underway here for the men's 100-meter backstroke. Ralph Carter, lane 2. Ben Williams, lane 3. Troy Jackson, lane 4. All for Bridgewater, and it looks like Jackson with an early lead.
So Troy Jackson, he was another senior that we actually saw him swimming like the first week of school in the pool. He was looking to go into a military career and had planned to swim all season on his own. And I went up and asked him if he wanted to be on the swim team, which I think kind of shocked him initially. But he became a very valued member of our team. He had a great work ethic. He was a really good role model for somebody invested in getting better in our sport, and he really did. He played a big role in this meet as well, coming in and swimming some off events and some events that he'd not really swum before, but for team points so that we could come out on top.
Williams is now closing it as they'll head for home. Williams has erased that gap, and I think Williams may have surged ahead. So Jackson started strong, but look at this kick from Williams. Williams dominates on that final lap. He wins it 126.15. Jackson touched in 128.36. So for the second straight event, Bridgewater men will go 1-2-3 by default, as they have the lone three competitors. Looks like the two seniors out to the early lead there, Young and Hernandez. And heading back. Matt Young with the lead at the midway point of this race. His split is 41.2. 44.2 for second place, Junior Hernandez. Not much separating Hernandez and Stanek now. There is Young. Young with a sizable lead. Now you see Hernandez on your screen and Stanek. Hernandez still with the slight edge for second place. There again, the gap between Hernandez and Stanek. Very little. I think Stanek has closed it now. But Young will win comfortably in lane 3. Young 128.09, the senior getting an individual win. We already saw another senior, Chris Hawley, get an individual win in the 800 free for the Eagles. A very close finish between Stanek and Hernandez. Stanek took it 140.15. Hernandez, well, actually didn't get a time at first. Now it's on the board, 140.17. So 0.02 of a second separating Stanek and Hernandez. But we're underway for the men's 50. Ralph Carter from Bridgewater in lane 1. Jake Morgan from Virginia Wesleyan in lane 2. Jarrett Davis from Bridgewater in lane 3. Stephen Carlo from Virginia Wesleyan in lane 4. Troy Jackson from Bridgewater in lane 5. Lead appears to be Jarrett Davis in lane 3, followed by Carlo. Davis will win it 27.73. Stephen Carlo gets second, 28.25. Third place in 31.40 goes to Troy Jackson. Fourth place, 32.34 for Virginia Wesleyan's Jake Morgan. And then Bridgewater's Ralph Carter, 33.12. Now on the men's side, Matt Young for Bridgewater in lane 2. Patrick McNeely, Virginia Wesleyan, lane 3. He was the one who gave Hawley all he could handle in the 800 free before Hawley ultimately edged him over that final 50 meters, winning by 3 seconds. But it was pretty much even on the second to last lap. Troy Jackson from Bridgewater, lane 4. Ralph Carter from Bridgewater, lane 5. Those are your 4 swimmers in the men's 100 free. And the early lead looks to be Matt Young, who's already won an individual race today. It is Young with a pretty significant lead early. I believe it's Jackson in second, McNeely in third, Carter in fourth. Here's the midway point. Young split 30.75. See if we get anyone else's. It was 33.15 for Jackson, over 34 seconds for McNeely. So Young putting 3 seconds plus ahead of the field on that one lap. Here's Young in the final length. Young will win. We'll see if Bridgewater can get second as well. Troy Jackson trying to hold off McNeely. Here is Matt Young. It will be very close for second place. Matt Young wins in 105.82. McNeely making a push. McNeely might have taken it from Jackson at the end, and he did. 110.22. Jackson 111.02. Ultimately a gap there of 0.9 seconds. Young winning again, 105.82.
So Matt Young played a big part in this victory. He was also a senior, and he won the 100 free in this meet. He also won the 100 fly. Both were big victories for us individually, and again, as a senior on our team, I know that was a really special moment for him to be able to bring in those big points. He really enjoyed his 1 year on our team at Bridgewater, and so it was a really nice moment for him to be able to contribute in that way.
During it about the women's seniors, went over some of the information and accomplishments for the men during the 800 free, which did include an Eagle senior winning that race, and Chris Hawley. We will not have any of the Eagles seniors in the women's 400. Bridgewater will be represented by Laurel Glover and Kelly Hilliker, both juniors. Alcazar still with the lead over Hernandez. Alcazar, his 100 split will be 127. About 10 meters from the turn is Hernandez. Here is Alcazar making the turn again. 3 lengths to go. As Alcazar heads back, you'll see Hernandez coming on his 3rd lap. There is Hernandez. And there's Alcazar. 1 lap to go. Clock at about 2:15 as he makes the turn. Alcazar, 30 to go. Now heads into his final 25 meters. Here is Tito Alcazar. He will touch in 3:03.17. And here we go with the combined 400 meter freestyle. The women are on the near side. Lane 1, Laurel Glover from Bridgewater. Lane 2, Taylor Morich from Virginia Wesley. And lane 3, Kelly Hilliker from Bridgewater. For the men, lane 4, Raphael Stanek from Bridgewater. Lane 5, Jake Morgan from Vauez. And lane 6, Chris Hawley from Bridgewater, who won the other distance event of the day. As the athletes head back on their first of 8 laps. Again, we talked about the 4 men seniors. Talk a little bit more about the women's senior class. As I mentioned earlier, they appear to be on their way today to setting virtually every record for dual meet victories, and not necessarily meaning a whole lot. It can depend on who you schedule, and dual meet results not always indicative of what will happen at the conference championship. But the Bridgewater women have been extremely successful in dual meets. This year, if they win these 2 meets against Hollins and Vauez, which it looks like they will, that would put them at 9-1 on the year, which would be a new program record for victories in a season. And it would give this year's senior class 28 wins, which would be the most out of any 4-year period in the 11-year history of the Bridgewater women's swimming program. So a couple milestones that this year's senior class is currently accomplishing tonight. That group includes Jordan Back. She's a health and human sciences major from Bridgewater, local. She swam all 4 years. She's made the finals in 8 of her 9 individual swims at ODAX. That includes 7B finals, but she also made an A final last year in the 100 butterfly and finished 8th in the conference. Her best finish at ODAX has been in the relays. She's been 4th place in the 200 medley relay team twice in 2015 and 2016. Emma Bashlein, a health and exercise science major from Charlottesville. She's in her 2nd season with the team. I think has graduated early. Last year she competed at ODAX in her first year with the team in the 50 free, 100 free, and 100 breaststroke. She's an RA on campus. Sydney Bright, who you might have been able to tell on camera, not sure if the crowd was standing in front of it, but she sang the national anthem before the meet today. She's a political science and French major from Alexandria. She's in her 3rd season with the team. She qualified for ODAX in 3 individual events last year. She has made the ODAC all-academic team. Very involved around campus, as a number of our swimmers are, with extracurriculars. And then finally, the 4th senior is Hayley Saunders. She's a history and political science major from Durham, North Carolina. Just like Back, she's been on the team for all 4 years. She's competed in the 50 free, 100 free, and 200 free individually at ODAX in each of her first 3 seasons. She has also been an ODAC all-academic team selection, I believe, multiple times. Very close right now between lanes 2 and 3 on the women's side. That is Emma Daw and Maya Shatkin. But it is, wow, actually Shatkin opening up a lead. Bit of a surprise over strongest Eagle swimmer Daw. Although actually may have reshuffled some lanes. That is actually Daw in the lead, and actually a sizable lead now. Oh, excuse me. I'm looking at the wrong names there. Laurel Glover is in lane 1, Taylor Morich, lane 2, Kelly Hilliker, lane 3. I had bumped my eyes down an event there, so that is Hilliker in the lead on the women's side. And that may not be Taylor Morich. Morich is from Virginia Wesley, and I think I saw a Hollins cap there in lane 2, so there may have been some shuffling anyway. But I was reading off the 100 butterfly list. Here's the bell lap for Hilliker. Kelly Hilliker now, her final lap, or final length. Kelly Hilliker will get the individual win, 5 minutes, flat, .59. And there's the bell lap for the men. And Bridgewater gets second as well on the women's side, 5:17.69 for Laurel Glover. So a 1-2 finish there for the women, and they easily pull ahead of the men's competitors in this race. We have 2 coming down to the wire here. It looks to be a race between lanes 5 and 6. That's Jake Morgan and Chris Hawley. Chris Hawley, who already won the 800 free, will take the 400 free as well. 5:50.76 for Hawley. So he's had to work for it. Don't always see 2 distance races that close, but it's been close in both the 800 and the 400 free. You won the 800 free by about 3 seconds, maybe 3.1 seconds. Let's see the gap there over Jake Morgan. It was 5:52.35 for Morgan, so less than 2 seconds there. So Hawley's had to work it for all 1,200 meters of his 2 distance wins. One more event before the second and final break will be the men's 100 butterfly. Two competitors, both from the Eagles, Jarrett Davis in lane 3, Matt Young in lane 4. Looks like an early lead for Young. So you see them, the underwater camera there, not a big gap. And heading back to finish the first of 2 laps. After the break, we'll have a 200 IM, 1 heat of each, and then we'll swim together for the 200 free relay. There's the turn. Young still in the lead. Matt Young, another one of those Eagles seniors. He was the first captain of the team, later joined by Jackson and Hawley. Here is Young. Davis is closing strong as well. Young will win it in 110.44. Jarrett Davis's time, 115.64 for second place. The only event win of the day for Virginia Wesleyan came from Stephen Carlo in the 200 backstroke. Second place in that race was Ben Williams. And now Williams will swim again here in lane 3 against his teammate Tito Alcazar. Alcazar with a slight edge on this opening lap. Again, this is it for the home schedule for the Eagles. They will have one more dual meet next Saturday, 8 days from now, down at Hampton-Sydney. The men will have a double duel, Hampton-Sydney and Pfeiffer. The women, of course, will just face Pfeiffer on that day. And then it's off to ODAX in Greensboro, February 10th through 12th. Men will be competing for the first time here in their inaugural season, so we'll see how they do. There's a number of first-year programs. As the Eagles picking up their second dual meet win tonight, they've beaten Emory and Henry and Virginia Wesley, and several other first-year programs will be there as well. So we see how our men can do. With 9 active swimmers still going, they actually have a larger squad than some in the conference. And the women, of course, have finished 4th the last couple years, but they've been creeping up on 2nd and 3rd. 2 years ago, it was Emory and Henry in 2nd. Last year, the Eagles beat Emory and Henry in a dual meet. I believe Randolph-Macon caught the Wasps at the ODAC meet. Bridgewater finished 4th, but with a closer gap between 2nd and 3rd than in the past couple of years before that. Third of 4 laps. Alcazar does have the lead, so it'll be another second place finish for Williams. That may be his 3rd second place finish of the day. Alcazar will head into the freestyle lap. Williams with another 10 meters till he makes the turn into his final lap. Here's Alcazar. Strong start to that freestyle leg. See if he can keep it up on the final length. See Alcazar one way, Williams coming into your screen heading the other. Williams is about to make his final turn. And Alcazar is about to finish with another individual win tonight. Alcazar will win in 2:57.51. Ben Williams finishing up now 3:17.
And so now, in the year 2020, we're coming full circle with some freshmen were on that team. And it's kind of neat to see where the team is now compared to where the team was their first year. And two of those that really made a great impact on that meet were Tito Alcazar. He was a breaststroker, and I went to him before the meet asking him to swim the 200 fly, which is a very different event. And he won the 200 fly at that event, and at that meet, and he also won the 200 IM. Also not one of his main events. And then we also have Ben Williams, who again was a freshman that year, is now a senior. It's really great to see how far he's come, and he's always been a team player. He will swim anything, any distance I ask him to for the team. And so we put him in an off event at that meet, the 100 backstroke, which he ended up winning for the team. So it's neat to look back at this meet, see where we started in just a short amount of time, where we've come, and how those people are still impacting our program today.
Another senior, Virginia Wesleyan has Taylor Moritz right now. Hollins in lane 2 as Megan Bull. Strong leg by Bull. Eagles still lead, but she's closed it a bit. Bridgewater also closing a little over in lane 5, so a good swim from Hayley Saunders. But it's lane 3 now, Taylor Berard for Bridgewater, and you can see the Hollins women as well have caught the Bridgewater men. Emily Mielke swimming another strong leg for Hollins. Bridgewater men have Chris Hawley in the pool. Over in lane 5, the Eagles have Emma Bashlein, another senior, and she'll be replaced by Sydney Bright. So actually I didn't realize that lane 5 is Eagles senior team. All 4 seniors swimming together. It's still Bridgewater women first, Hollins women second, and then the Bridgewater men. So going lanes 3, 2, and 1 are your top 3 times. And Bridgewater, with their anchor leg from Rachel King, will win. A time of 2:02.98. Hollins women, they finished up with Molly Sullivan. They swim 2:07.72. And then the Bridgewater men, 2:08.52 to take the points there. How about that team of Bridgewater seniors? They get a final time of 2:23.34 over in lane 5. So again, congratulations to those seniors. That's Jordan Back, Hayley Saunders, Emma Bashlein, and Sydney Bright on the women's side. On the men's side, also 4 seniors, Junior Hernandez, Chris Hawley, Troy Jackson, and Matt Young. Thank you, everyone, for watching tonight. Thank you for keeping up with us this season. Good luck to the Eagles at ODAC Championships, and come back next year here on BridgewaterEagles.com and Boxcast.